Hello. Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everyone. 1st of October today. Who remembers what this day is? No one. Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Good evening, Abdul. Wow, a true Nigerian is the first person to join us this evening. Hi, Abdul. Welcome to today's program and happy Independence Day to Nigeria and to everyone out there. All Nigerians, not everyone cares. Anyway, happy Independence Day. Hello, Jane. Olani, good evening. Thank you for joining. Who else is with us today? Hi, Jane. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. How are you today? Oh, thank you, Olani. Good evening. Good evening. Thank you, guys. Please share this program with other people and invite them as well. You can share by going onto the share button or to go to your page. Just click share. You can actually add a comment as well that engages more people. So you can write something while you share. So you can say something, join me to celebrate Nigeria, for example, or anything else that you like. Or you can write it on the comment section, right at, so tag the same as that you use for email and somebody's name. So do that with about 4 or 5 people so that they can be mentioned and they would know that you're watching the program and they will be able to join you. And of course, you can invite them individually so they know you're thinking of them and you want them to join you in this program. So thank you, guys. Hello, Prince. Hello, Suzanne. How are you today? Good evening. Philip, good evening. Banjo, good evening. How are you? Namdi. Reason the first name is a bit long, I can't pronounce it, so I'll pronounce it Namdi. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Amayo, good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you all. Good evening. Good evening. It's 1st of October today. Of course, it's Nigerian Independence Day. I'm Nigerian. Dr. Sunday is Nigerian. We're all Nigerian. Even the Russians here, they're Nigerian. Ukrainian, Nigerian. Everybody, as far as I'm concerned today, Nigerian. So, happy Independence Day to everybody. Hi, Jefferson. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Today, we are going to talk about Nigeria. Of course, we have to honor Nigeria for 10/57 is their 57th Independence Day. And we have a great Nigeria all-rounder genius as well, Dr. Sunday. You're watching his channel right now. So why wouldn't we talk about Nigeria? And yesterday, as we know that a lot of Nigerians are doing great things all over the world. So why not celebrate on the very day that is Nigerian Independence Day? So thank you again, guys, for joining. Hi, Israel. Hi, Chidima. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Happy Independence Day. Favor, good evening. Thank you for joining. Muna, good evening. Thank you for joining. Uluwatoyin, good evening. Thank you very much for joining. And Prince, good evening. Thank you all. I appreciate you all. So please, guys, let's invite as many people as possible. Thank you, Suzanne, for congratulating us and congratulating Nigeria. Gold V, good evening. Idara, good evening. Thank you for joining. Okay, yes, it is Independence hairstyle, Abdul. Thank you. That's an interesting one. Yes, it is. I would accept that. Adepeju, good evening. And Tony again, good evening. Thank you all. Please, guys, do the honors and invite as many people as possible so that they can all celebrate with us on this great day, 1st of October. Okay, I'm going to turn the camera. We've got people here that really want to discuss with you about Nigeria and, tell you what they know. We have actually 2 generations, and this conversation about Nigeria should be very, very interesting. So don't say I didn't warn you. Please remember to invite as many people as possible. Hello, Stella. Bolorunduro, good evening. Thank you for joining. Thank you all very, very much. So I'll turn my camera now so you can say hello.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, Dr. Sunday there.
Hello, how are you doing today?
Dr. Victor Bamisha.
Everybody today is a doctor.
Yeah, hello everyone.
And Dr. Anu Ojo.
Hello.
Thank you.
What a privilege. You have a room full of 3 doctors.
Yes.
And all of them are men. And all of them are learned.
Yes.
But these ones are not just learned by finishing medical school. Because I've seen too many people finish medical school. They are as learned as this man. They are not learned at all. Medical school or any school doesn't make you to be learned. What makes you to be learned is your work on yourself and self-education. But these, I trust in them because they are loaded just because they work on themselves. They have not relented on their hours. So that's why they are quite ready and equipped to be engaging all of you together with me today. So, happy Independence Day, Nigeria. Yeah. Happy Independence Day to all people of Nigerian descent who are here. Either you are Nigerian or by proxy, you are Nigerian. Either through friendship or through relationship, or your pastor is a Nigerian, or your business associate is a Nigerian, or your mentor is a Nigerian. You know, happy Independence Day to everybody that knows Nigeria or know Nigerians and associate themselves to Nigeria one way or the other. If you can see my books here, I mean the screen here, you will see that I'm really serious about Nigeria these days. I'm really serious about Nigeria, and I'm determined that I will not leave my country the way I met it. I will not leave my country the way it is right now. I will not leave this world without making the world a better place, especially the country of my birth a better place. I was not caring for it before because I was focusing on making Ukraine a better place. Now that that is done and God is taking me further, so I think it's my responsibility to now, turn my gaze to the continent of Africa and especially to Nigeria. So now that it's Nigeria's independence today, you see this, how to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. That is the plan. That's where we're going. We want to make Nigeria the greatest country in the world. Now, and then it might not happen in my lifetime, but at least the structure is there, the goal is there, the plan is there, and we are putting a division out there for those who, for their generation and the younger people generation who will be able to make this happen. How the Nigerian economy can overtake the American economy. That looks like a fantasy. Even the greatest country in the world, all that looks like fallacy even. But you know what? You read the books, then you will discover that, maybe not a fantasy after all. These things are possible. And then, of course, Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth. That is one of the hit books. And if you are not Nigerian, and you want to learn just principles of nation building, you might just want to just engage yourself with these books, just so that you know how national issues are dealt with. Principles of national transformation. Then Nigeria and the leadership question. I don't know if they are visible enough for them to read. And then the Nigerian economy, the way forward. So those are 5 books there that have been written under 1 year or in 1 year, just to be able to contribute to the national discourse and to be able to give direction to a nation that is like in the wilderness of confusion right now. But there are several things that I would like us to talk about today, you guys. I would like us to talk about, of course, the books, maybe the last point. But before then, I would like us to talk about the question that has been hugely dividing in Nigerian society now. And that's the question of restructuring. I don't want us to talk about Biafra so much unless anybody asks, because there's a reason I don't want us to discuss about Biafra. First of all, I've already written an article, and over how many pages? Maybe 20,000 words of article on Biafra. So I've already, my opinion is out there. Anybody who's interested could go and check it out. So there are 4-part article that I've written about Biafra. Secondly, all of us that are here, even though we are all Nigerians, but we are all representing Western Nigeria. You are from West Nigeria, yeah? West Nigeria. We are all Yorubas. So I would not like us to talk about Biafra because that might not be an objective view from people coming just from one side of the country. So I will not be addressing for that reason as well. But I would like us to address the issue of Nigeria and what people are clamoring for. Please share that in my private page. And what the people are clamoring for is restructuring of Nigeria. I want to let people know my official position today about that. So, but apart from that question, and I would like to know your your positions. But apart from that, I would also like us to engage a Nigerian that I think is a futuristic Nigerian, and I hope we'll be able to get him, and write him in two places, in all these two. Okay, if we are going to get, if it will be possible, I would like us to get one futuristic Nigerian that is very, very. I like his thinking. It's more like me, and I know that he is capable of bringing a lot of changes to Nigeria. And if possible, I would like to get him and invite him here. This guy has a vision of providing the next 10 years, maybe 10 million jobs to Nigerians. And he has the strategy. So I wanted us to talk to him. And he also wants to produce 10,000 millionaires, just like me. I have a vision of producing 10,000 millionaires. And but his plan also, makes me to know that he's a guy that is capable of doing that. And I want to help him as much as possible. He's already helping me in a lot of ways. So I would like to get those kind of guys on board. If you will not be available, then I might just mention some of his plans and about his what he's doing. But talking about Nigeria and restructuring, I went yesterday to especially listen to it was a regional conference of the Southwest Nigerians, the Yorubas mainly, all the states. I mean, many people were present. They sent their representatives, or the governors, and then the Obas were there. Those are the kings and the prominent Yoruba people. I was really surprised that they managed to get those people there. It really surprised me, frankly speaking, because they got people from all sphere of life, religion, academia, politics, but mainly from PDP when it comes to politics, but other people beyond PDP were there. So I look at the video, I look at the speeches, and they all came to even the daughter of Awolowo was there, and they all came to the conclusion that Nigeria has to go back to what we used to have, which is restructure the country into Western, Eastern, and just regional basis, which is like 6 zones. Now, I have a problem with that, and I will let you know my position. The reason why I have a problem with that is, number one, all those people were saying, one of the arguments is, we remember how it was, and that Nigeria performed better during regional rule, when every region had a premier, like prime minister, and then the center just played a weak role. So Nigeria performed better, which was true. Nigeria performed better economically. So, but what they are thinking is that, and then in that regional council, they had representatives not just from Western Nigeria, the Eastern Nigerian people, Igbo people, not the Biafran people clamoring for, but the other Igbo tribe, the cool-headed guys. They sent all the Igbo representatives there, also saying we need regional, restructuring. And then only the North was not invited. The South was also there. They were also clamoring for restructuring. And but I am a Yoruba guy and a Southerner, so all Southern people were saying we need to break the country into 6 parts and manage each other. So the argument, number one argument is we did better when we had regions. Western region, Eastern region, Northern region. And so let's go back to that and let everybody develop, there. Okay. But they are I will take one of the arguments and I will give my counter argument. Okay. So let's say Nigeria did better. I agree. And statistically and historically, they did better. But my own objection is this. Number one, those people who are talking, most of them are in their 60s and 70s. Most of them remembered what it was like to have regions, but they are all going to die off in the next 10, 20 years. So they want to return us back to their times that the people who will live tomorrow don't even know. They don't remember that Nigeria. They don't know that Nigeria at all. And there is they don't know that Nigeria. They don't know what it's like. They will just ruin it. They didn't know what made it work that time. And these people, I was so disappointed. I was beating myself. I said, God, why don't you let me be in Nigeria now? I would have spoken to them. Because I was so disappointed. I was seeing professors. I was seeing clergymen, kings. I was seeing all these people. And these are the people that my country respect. These are the people that my people look up as heroes. And then they were saying the reason why Nigeria was doing well was because of the regions. Geographical location or division doesn't decide prosperity. Now, for them to say that is the reason why we were doing better, I am so sorry. Number one, the reason why we were doing better that time was because we had not discovered oil in commercial quantity. And because we didn't have that oil, we needed to produce something. So everybody was producing what they could. That is just it. The second reason why we were doing better, we were operating under a system of the infrastructural system, the administrative system that was set up by the British. This time when we have the region, autonomous rule, half of those years, let's say there were 8 years altogether, let's say 10 years, but I think it was 8 years altogether. Half of those 8 years, about 4 years, there was a British rule. So the British were half of the government was Nigeria, half of the government was British. And the infrastructure is what the British colonial people set up. So the social services and the civil service was working as it was set up. And the work ethic, everything worked from up, hierarchy, or up straight from what the British. So the British system that was set up worked for the next, let's say, 8 to 10 years. And then but in the half of the way British left, and half of the other, something British, the only Nigerians were there, and it collapsed. So for them to now be using that as something that, as a panacea is something that will heal everything, that will cure everything, as a cure, as an general comprehensive cure for the nation, is wrong. But I will give you more reasons why it's wrong. Another reason why it's wrong is that whenever you say that, okay, we did better, let me know the reasons. Give me the reason why we did better. But these people were talking, there was only one person who gave me the reason why they did better. Which I listened to all their speeches. There were two people who gave speeches from South, and they were saying the reason we did better is because every region had access to their own resources and to their own natural resources, and their natural resources they managed them, according to whatever they produce is what they managed. Okay, so. But that also broke my heart. If that is the reason why you want to break, because that is the reason why they say, okay, now let's go back to that. Okay, we have the oil in South, we'll manage our oil and we'll give 15% to the center. Then all of that region, let them just manage whatever they have and develop themselves. Whenever you use egocentrism you don't use temporary feelings, temporary passions, temporary emotion, temporary temperament to decide to take a decision that's going to be everlasting or that's going to be a lasting, permanent. You don't use temporary feelings to decide a permanent decision, to take a permanent decision. When you take a permanent decision based on temporary feelings, you are destroying the future you are trying to build. So they are thinking now, okay, for example, the Western people are also saying that, oh, we are the most educated, we used to be the most educated, we used to be the most this. It's all about selfishness. So let us go back to that. We will be again the most educated. But you are no more the most educated. Everybody is educated the same way now. You are no more the most progressive. Everybody is progressive from any of the tribe that wants to. You are no more the the first. Oh, we will not be the last. We will still continue to be first. Everybody had the opportunity now. It's now depending on individuals. So for you to now say because of you used to be first. Okay, first of all, let me answer the guy from South that said because we have our resources, let's manage it. For you to build your future on the fantasy or on the illusion of raw materials is even an obsolete idea. Raw material is a past gone by idea. It's only primitive nations that still think of building their future on raw materials. That's what this book is about. We shouldn't use raw materials as the yardstick of development anymore. That belongs to our past. Only blind people. It belongs to the days of the blind. Even US, you know the US has more oil than us, but they are not even touching. They just reserve it because it's a foolish, it's a blind and foolish nation that will, just depend. Because the US knows if they will begin, they have even more natural resources apart from oil than all of us, all Nigeria put together. But the reason why they are not using them is that if they know that there is a deception of blessing, which is when you begin to depend on natural resources like that, you will relax on developing human resources and other resources. So that is why they were developing. First of all, America was developing industrially, and they became the most industrial country in the world, because even though they had the raw materials and they don't pay attention to it. Now they are developing futuristically, technology, information, because that is the future. Nigeria is supposed to just reserve and forget about natural resources for now. And I've written about 10 different answers of how we could, grow to an economy that will be as big as America and overtake America in this book, just without our raw material. Just forget about oil right now. And I've written the answers how we can grow the economy to be the best in the world without raw materials. We should be thinking of how to grow as a nation without raw materials, because raw materials will finish sooner or later, and by the time it finishes, our people are doomed because they have not developed in other areas. And the oil now will finish in the next 10 years. And there is no alternative, nothing to stand on. And that's why we're having all the crises we're having. That is number one. Don't use raw materials that is temporary. So don't use temporary sentiment to take a permanent decision. Raw materials are temporary. Don't say because everybody is going to do their own. No, raw materials, we are going to develop and we have our own thing. We are going to get better percentage. It's selfish. You don't use egocentrism also to decide the future of a nation. So the nation, you are pulling the blanket. It's like 2 people are sleeping on the bed or 3 people, and you are always pulling the blanket on yourself. Nobody will be happy in that kind of a nation. Because somebody is always feeling the heat or the cold. Whose blanket side is not going to. So egocentrism should not be the basis for nation building. That is on that one, just to answer the people who are saying, everybody will manage their own resources. Then, now, another person from the Southwest said, if we manage our resources, then we will not depend on going for allocation in the center again. Our own allocation will come from us. Good idea. Very good idea. But why should you divide the country before you could tell the states to begin to generate their own resources? Every state, you already have states now. What is your problem? State is the best thing we could have, because the way they are saying we should do region now, it means by tribe. It's dangerous. And what these old people, I was so broken when I was listening to them. They were saying we did better during the regional government in Nigeria, when we had the West, the East. But what they are not telling the future generation, what they are not telling us today, the younger people, they are just telling one side of it that looks better, which is just like 10% of the reality of what happened during those days. I was born that time, and I was younger. I was not mature enough, but I'm a student of history. And if you read this Bible, Nigeria and the leadership question, you will know that I have a good grasp of what happened in that country and what is happening in the country. I'm a student of history, very good student of history. Now, I will have another argument that during the regional government was the worst we ever practiced. It's the worst thing that has ever happened to Nigeria. That is another argument I would like to raise up with all these people. Because it is during that time, Yorubas, a lot of Yorubas, especially Awolowo, is known today as a tribal leader. I mean, not by Yorubas, but some other, especially the Igbos, other people call him tribal leader. Especially Igbo. Why do they call him tribal leader? Although what the Igbos don't know is that during the Biafra war, Awolowo put Radio Biafra. You know, Radio Biafra was always, it was located in the house of Awolowo. Nigerian government didn't even know that. You know, it was supporting them. But anyway, that's another discussion. So, but what I'm saying is that, that's what before I joined the government, of course. Yeah. But what I'm saying right now is that during the time of regional something, when you break a nation according to region, according to tribes, you are just, it's a cake of bombs. You are just, you are just setting up the country for civil war. And it is that regional something that led to the Nigerian civil war. You want another war? Because the ones when the Igbos, they travel a lot, they are very industrial, and they are, they are enterprising people, and they are the best we have in Nigeria in enterprises. So they are very enterprising. They were in the north, and because it's a regional country, I mean, they started killing them, and they had to withdraw to their place, and they said it is easy to form secession that way by saying people should do, that is, we are laying another ground for another secession. It is, those restructuring they're talking about is one wave from breaking the country and from civil war and breaking the nation again. People, and I'm so sad that people don't see far like that. That is number one. Number two, why is it the worst? If the greatest crisis we ever had in Nigeria were during the time of regional rule. Before, many people don't know this, that before the Biafra War, there was almost a war in the East, in the West. In the Western Nigeria, almost a war, but the same kind of war situation that happened with Biafra was happening in the Western Nigeria. But it was not between Nigeria nation and Yoruba nation, but it was within Yoruba nation. There was a small civil war or clash within Yorubas themselves. When, as a result, because betrayal in the party, AG party, they call it Action Group Party, that there was a split between Akintola and Awolowo, and there was a civil war almost in Yoruba region. It happened. So what Nigeria did now with Nnamdi Kanu, by sending the military to crush the brewing division, the unrest. What they did, what they did recently with Nnamdi Kanu, and send the military there and put everything up. That's what they did with Western Nigeria at that time too. But it resulted in the top leaders, like 6 leading figures in the Yoruba nation, being put in jail, including Awolowo. So it was a big crisis. So the most unrest, the biggest civil unrest, and the biggest conflict and crisis in the nation was because of regional rule. And then, of course, civil war. And then it led also to the first military coup. Regional rule led to coup. Now we have just overcome coup. They are not even seeing that and celebrating that as a victory. That we are no more having coups. Because Nigeria was able to galvanize together as a nation and be able to, put in one direction. But when you put them in region, everybody is pulling the blanket again to themselves. But right now, why should they make all Yorubas just one body? If you make all Yorubas one body, we'll begin to see ourselves as superior. Just when I was growing up in Yoruba land, and up till now, I could listen to all those sentiments of the Yoruba people. They are always thinking that they are superior than other people. Those are the kind of things we don't want to encourage. If you are superior, be superior in relation to yourself, to your potential, to God's potential that He has put in you. But you know what the Yoruba, the superiority they put there, they want to think that they are superior to the Igbos, or think that they are superior to all other tribes in Nigeria. But all of us are God's creation, nobody is superior. But that is the kind of thing, undertone you could hear. But when you go to the Igbo people, they are also thinking they are superior. Maybe the Hausas are also thinking so, I don't know. But these are the things that kill a nation. That is not the kind of superiority we want to. We want to be superior in our potential, in our gifts, not over other people. So those are the kind of things these people are trying. But let's now say all the Yorubas are one body together. That's crazy something. But now I cannot say you are from what state? Ekiti State. You are from what state? You are from Ekiti State. But I cannot say I'm superior to you because you are from another state, and even though we are still Yoruba, but we are not colliding as it is good. It's a good thing that we are different states. Everybody have their own faces, their own. Even though we are still Yoruba, but it's like Nigeria as a whole. Even though we are Yoruba, but we have different states. So we try to love each other. We try to accept each other and see each other as different and unique as well. Within the Yoruba nation, and then it will help to also accept the whole Nigeria as different but unique and the same within Nigeria, because we are still all Nigerians. So it's the best way to rule the states. But when you just make us now lump us together as one, we are just Yorubas as against. Either you like it or not, you begin to see yourself as a body that is as against other people. So when I was listening to these so-called fathers, academias, and the leaders of Yoruba people, so if these are the leaders of Yoruba people, if these are Yoruba that talking about superiority, I see backwardness. I see degradation of the mind. I'm sorry. And I'm not even talking about, everybody is blaming Nnamdi Kanu, but you are doing the same thing, even by demanding this restructuring. Your degrees, not minding your degrees. But what is it that makes me, they say, okay, what's your alternative? What do you propose? Listen closely. The Nigerians that are ruling Nigeria now, even Yorubas, how can they even have mouth to open mouth? Out of, all the 57 independence or years of independence of Nigeria, Yorubas led for almost half of the time, or 1/3 of the time. So who are you to even open your mouth? In a country where we have 200 or 500 and something tribes, one tribe has not ruled even at all. And you have ruled for so many years, and you are now still talking about injustice? And you are now clamoring for, restructuring and blaming that Nigeria is not a just system. Why did you change it while you were there? Why did you propose that when your people were there? And even all these people from the East also who are coming to talk about restructuring, and from the South, many of them were in the government. And they didn't do anything in their own time. Now, in the time of their children that don't know what they're talking about, they want to ruin the country and go to heaven, or to go to wherever they're going to, and where their children will be having a crisis at hand. And I'm surprised that nobody is coming out to argue the case for Nigeria like this. I said, they have government, people who are against, come and make your own case. APC, you are against, don't just say you are against and just keep quiet while everybody else is talking. Because the more the other people are talking, people don't believe what is true. People believe what they continuously hear.
That's true.
So everybody is hearing, everybody is, so soon the whole country will be clamoring for it. This is a dangerous road. What's my alternative? What's my solution? My solution is this. The people who are ruling right now in Nigeria, either it's in West Nigeria or East Nigeria or South Nigeria, we didn't import them now from Cote d'Ivoire or from Burkina Faso or Guinea-Conakry. We didn't import them from somewhere to rule over us, and we didn't import the corrupt people to us to come and... They are among us now. The Igbos who are ruling them. It's not the Yorubas going to rule them. It's not the Hausas going to rule them. It's your own people. The ones who are ruling the Yorubas, who is ruling them? Is it the Igbos? No. Is it the Hausas? No. It's our own people too. So why can't you, is that not enough for you to see that if we are going to divide and put our own people alone to justice, it's not going to be worse. Thank God at least there is a control center that could also put things in order. If my people are ruling us up to now, and we are so bad, can you imagine what will happen when we are the only one by ourselves? They will just kill us. And the masses are clamoring for this. But the problem is not in region or give us autonomy. It is still the same elite. These same elite that are leading us today, who don't have heart, who don't have soul. The same elite will still be in power. All these masses who are they're just using your vote and your voice to clamor for their goal. You are being used as pawns to fulfill the desires of the elite. Yeah. And the problem is not even with the elite. Because some people will say, okay, raise your voice against the elite, let's go and fight against the elite, they are our problem. But I am saying, yes, they are our problem because they are the ones in power. But let us change the elite. Let's remove this one and put the other one. Since 57 years, elites are changing every time. Political parties are changing. People in government are changing. We have been changing elites and nothing has changed. So even changing elites doesn't solve our problem. So what will solve our problem? What will solve our problem is this. Value systems. Not just for the southern Nigerians or northern Nigerians, all of us we are corrupt. All of us we have a corrupt and a damaged value system. We need to work on that, and nobody spoke about that. Nobody saw that as a solution. All these big men, all these wise men, all these academia, all these religious leaders, all these people, nobody saw the only lasting solution to bring in Nigeria out of the hole that we are in right now. The thing that is faulty, and they were talking about all the prime minister, the premiers who ruled the regions and brought about prosperity. Awolowo, Nkoku, and all the Amadou Bello, but they were men of high values. That is what we need to reproduce. Men of high values in every facet of this society, everywhere, so that pot we are talking about, that's what I was talking about in this book. So that pot will be white. And when the whole pot is white, we will not bother again who is really who. That is our only problem. Value system damage. Please, guys. Who wants to start?
I think you've really hit the nail on the head. When they are clamoring for restructuring, we've learned from history that regions or geographical position does not bring prosperity. In fact, there are two proximal, two countries, two places that are very close to each other. One is in the US, one is in Mexico. They are the same town. Before the war, they were one town, but after the war and the map changed, so there was just a wall divided them. But when you view from satellite, you see one very structured, very organized. You see the other very dark, disorganized. In that one, there's high crime rate, everything, no infrastructure, no amenities, and they are just beside each other. They bear the same name, the same everything. The only difference now is that one is in America by virtue of map, and one is in Mexico.
Yes.
So if it was about region, they should have the same access to the same raw materials.
Yes.
They should have.
And they do.
So it's been proven. I mean, after I read your book, then I was pushed again to go and read the study of Akre-Moglu.
Yes.
Why Nations Fail.
Yes.
So it just vindicated everything you said here. But you faced the Nigerian context straight away, but they were going more global. So it just vindicated. Region will never produce wealth. Religion will never produce wealth. Anything that divides us will never produce wealth.
Brilliant.
Because there's a difference between exclusive economies and inclusive economies. There's a very huge difference.
Even in Europe, where they were divided, what are they doing now?
Yes. They are coming together to form EU, to form the European Union. And those who are out of it, they know what's up.
Where Ukraine is begging to enter.
Brexit, after the Brexit, go and do polls in the United Kingdom. They should go and conduct polls again. Even the British people that voted to leave, they've not been able to start negotiation because after they left, they now woke up to the reality of what the damage they've done. Because people are always better together. People are always better together. Now, the most important thing you said today, sir, which is your conviction and what you've proposed, I've read it in your book, and I agree with it any day and time. They wake me from sleep, I agree with it. It is value system. It is value system. Okay, we go back to regions.
Would the people who change?
The people
What
doesn't
will change
change.
them?
Even these Biafra people, as much as you don't want us to talk about it, but that's the validity of the argument. When you get Biafra, the only thing that will change,
your life will change.
the only thing that will change is the name of the nation or the geography.
And the flag.
And we've seen that in South Sudan. I don't know how people don't learn from history. Today I learned today that there are over 60% adult illiterates in Nigeria. Adults who are illiterate. Because I'm working with children, and I know that there are 4.1 million primary school, more than 4.1 million primary school age children not in school. Now we can understand that, and that's why we're working on it. But adults, these people who you say want to help us decide our future now, and the youths are not talking. And this is what I'm talking about when people are saying not too young to run. When you are not talking about issues that are important like this, then of what use? So 65% illiterate who don't study history. They are not students of history. Turn blind eye to history. All they are thinking of is survival. They don't.
South Sudan, face your point.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they are not learning from history. History is there, but we are just not learning from it.
E.g. South Sudan.
South Sudan got independence. Now, when there was fireworks everywhere. Less than a year after, there's civil war. There's still unrest now.
Among themselves.
Yeah, among themselves.
Even though they have left the
They have left the Sudan that they thought was their problem before. Chevy Sudan said, let my people go. Now there is problem.
More problem than when they were part of Sudan.
Yes, than when they were part of Sudan. So it's value system. Again, let us take the example of Rwanda. Rwanda, we know the Rwanda genocide and the crisis between the Hutu,
Tutsi and
Hutu. It's because of this same regional thing. Let's know ourselves.
And it led to genocide.
Of recent, again, if you want to know how bad this thing is, let's take Canada. There's southern Canada and there's northern Canada. One is rich with oil, the other is not. And those ones who are saying, no, that when recession hit them, they
ran to the other ones.
They saw the thing. It was very clear. The people were saying, "No, it's our oil before." When they had recession,
there was no oil. Oil was not selling.
Oil was not selling. It was not very clear. They are now united. I'm not hearing of that again in Canada. Even if there are just little voices, because it now gave them a different perspective that we are always better together.
That's true.
Regionality, all of these things, they don't work. Okay, again, and you mentioned it. In those days when there was region, was it the fact that there was a region that made it work, or the people that were in charge of the region? Till today, we call something Awolowo standard, and I wrote about it in 2012. The cost of celebrating Nigeria and the cost of celebrating mediocrity. We call something Awolowo standard in the West. Awolowo was a premier of Western Union. That Western Union today has about 7 or 8 states. Now, not one single governor has been able to produce the presence Awolowo produced in all of the states.
In his state.
In every state.
Even one leader cannot do that in one
single
state.
Yes, in one single state. And that's why there's still the Awolowo standard. Now, look at it. Textile industry was there. In Ibadan, there was cocoa. So many things like that. They have not been able to produce it. So it was not the structure. It was rather the leadership.
Yeah.
The value
quality
system
of the leader.
Look at when Nigeria had what's it called? Television station. France did not. Ireland did not. Many of these European nations we are looking up to, they didn't even smell it. When the Western Union had built Western Nigeria, so as it was called that time, had built a stadium, there were a handful of
Olympic
countries.
standard.
Yes. There were a handful of countries that had it at that time. What was the difference? These people are not telling us. That was
they
not
think
about
it was just region.
And in those days, and I'll mention them now, the Yoruba people, they knew the betrayal that a certain Fani Kayode, the father countries I see all of the signs of delusion around him. We knew those who were who. We knew it was not the structure, we knew it was the people. That's why today Awolowo is a cult name when it comes to the Nigerian politics. Even those who were fighting him, they knew who he was. Shagari, I said Shagari, who's
Prime Minister.
This man in the north,
Bello.
Ahmadu Bello. He never even really held any position, but they knew he was because it was about equality. When Tafawa Balewa speaks, you know this guy is learned.
Yeah.
He was respected.
Quality guy.
He was respected. So it was not about the regions. These people that said they were producing granite pyramids.
Yes.
It should be something as trivial as granite.
And
producing
it was,
economy.
you're bringing in foreign exchange.
It's
crazy.
This thing. It was cocoa that was.
They were very organized.
It was palm oil that was in the
Yes.
east.
Yeah.
Palm kernel. These things that are so trivial now. But there was quality in leadership. It was not just because of the structure. Now the danger is what they are not looking at. Because for every society, they have their own precedents, they have their own history that is peculiar to them and from which they have to make new decisions.
Yes.
There's no nation as diverse as Nigeria. If anyone knows anyone, they should tell me. No nation as diverse as Nigeria. And we have to learn from what we've been through. That means certain things that work in certain clients will definitely may not work in ours. So we have to have learned that what made it easy for Biafra secessionists to come was because of the regional government. Because it was just easy for someone to say, yes, I'm bleeding this whole territory, let us go. Even against the will of people who don't want to go.
But people say, when it comes to Biafra and all those people who are saying, they said Nigeria is a fake, or what do you call it? A fake creation or an artificial creation, because it was the British that made us into marriage, forced marriage. I say, okay, then show me one country, not be two, not be three, one. I'm not talking of two, where there is just monoculturalism, total monoculture, that it is not, there was no forced marriage. When you go to France, you will see that it's an amalgamation of many nations that became France. Go to Germany, it is amalgamation of many countries that became Germany. Go to England, it is not just English people, it's amalgamation of many nations that became England. Go to America, we don't want to go. America is the amalgamation of the whole world that became America.
Yeah.
Go to Cameroon, go to Togo, go to Ghana, go to any, there is no country in the world. So why are they not saying they are forced into marriage? The one that is forced, our own amalgamation by the British, is one of the best that has happened in the whole history of the whole world. What has happened in Nigeria and compared to other countries. Because in other countries, it is a superior nation that comes. Not from outside though. Like for example, Yorubas are more powerful, let's say, and then they conquer the north. And they conquer the east. And they make them to, that is what has happened in every other nation. It is only other, they force you to join that country and to become that country. This is not what happened in Nigeria. What happened in Nigeria is just a unity of neighboring nations to be one nation. It's one of the greatest one that has happened in the history of Nigeria. In other nations, it's always worse. But people don't learn.
And they don't think. Let's not even go too far. Even the America that you just mentioned, how did it become America?
They bought Mexico, part of Mexico land, part of, the Indians, all kind of the Africans came, all kind of evil to make America.
To make America. That America that we are celebrating, that you want to collect visa and go to. Read about the history, you'll see how Nigeria.
And they fought their own civil war too.
Yeah.
And up till now, I was telling a friend of mine one time that I went to the Southern America. To a village, a village of like 200,000, no, 20,000 people, they call it a village. And they were telling me, here, where are you coming from? I said, from Africa, from Nigeria. They said, oh, we would rather have you than a Yankee. I said, who is a Yankee? He said, no, not from America, not from the people from the East. We don't want them. We don't want people from America here. We don't want people from the East, eastern zone of America here. Because they came and defeated our Confederation army, and they brought the flag out for me, and they were telling me all kind of stories that they would rather have me as in America. I walked it today, and they talk about 10 years ago.
Yeah,
they are still hating each other. They are saying no, we are not the same. In America, they are talking about. So I said Nigeria is even better. So they are thinking about another country that is better. It's because they don't have comparison.
Yeah. Charlottesville, in fact, proves
It
you
proves
right.
it.
Because Charlottesville was not even about black people. It was about Confederacy flag or no Confederacy flag and statues. So we have, if people will only learn from history, which the statistics of illiterates in Nigeria has probably shown us why that is not happening, you will see that what we have is good. Yes, is there need for improvement? Yes, there are need for improvement. But the first point of improvement is in our value system as a people. What is our work ethics? What do we value labor? Do we hold our leaders accountable? Are we ourselves not corrupt? Can we be trusted? If there was no conductor, and it happens here in Ukraine, for instance, they don't have conductors for their cars, for their vehicles, but they trust their citizens to pass the money forward, and they always do.
Yeah.
Can you try that system in Nigeria today? Can we? No, you know we cannot. Because the value system of trust, of not betraying the next person's trust, integrity. How many of us can say we have imbibed that? Okay, if you want to think I'm putting Nigeria down, you that you are abroad, now you send money home now and do business. Just go send your money home and do business. Just call somebody and say, oh, I want to build this thing, take money and do it. Can you do that? You cannot. Why? Because
it doesn't matter what region.
It doesn't matter with the region.
You send it to Igbo, they will shop your body. Send it to Yoruba, they will shop your body. Send it to the Northern, they will shop your body.
So, value system is really the most important.
Even the ones who are saying that the elite are the ones who are bad. Put the young ones who are not the one elite. They will become elite tomorrow. They will do worse. Why? It's value system.
We have seen it. We have seen it. Dimeji Bankole was a youth. He was not even married when he became the Speaker of Nigeria, of the House of Representatives. We have seen Salisu Buhari, who was about 30-something. He was a speaker that guy, he was fraudulent with certificate. We have seen it. We have seen young leaders go there and mess up. How old was Fanika Ode himself, Femi Fanika Ode, when he was minister? How old was Bukola Saraki when he was
governor?
Not even governor first, special advisor to the president. We have seen youth in power. We've seen this. So it's never about age. It's always about value system. It's always about value system.
But by the way, before you speak,
Yes, sir.
they said right now, as we are talking here about Nigeria, there is an independence party going on in Nigeria now. Independence celebration. So somebody just sent me a message. Pastor, at the independence party that is being broadcasted all over Nigeria, they have what they call Thanksgiving service. And there is an old man, an old pastor, who is invited to give the speech, to speak, because there's a Thanksgiving. So a pastor is preaching. And all the past head of states are present. The vice president is present because it's in a church. And this man started quoting Pastor Sunday Adelaja as the way to solve Nigeria's problem. He listed 4 questions that you asked. You know, the DSA thoughts. The 4 questions that you had. He said he didn't remember all of them, but it was quoting that this is the way to resolve Nigeria's problem.
Wow.
You remember the 4 things, eh?
Yes, sir.
You know, that we must uproot.
Miracle.
No, first of all, it started with
superstitions. Yes.
Then
miracle grace.
No, that's number 3.
Subservience.
No, that's number 3.
That's number 3.
Yeah, number 4 you mentioned.
Okay, then what's
Intolerance.
Intolerance, yes.
That's number 2. And number 3?
Miracle grace.
Miracle grace.
Yeah, and then subservience.
Mention the 4 again.
Yeah, so the first one that we must remove is dealing with the superstitions. So we must eradicate superstitions. So then the second one is to
because those are dealing with value systems.
Yeah. So that's like one that it has really crippled us. Yeah.
That's superstitions.
Yeah, because an average Nigerian is superstitious. Yes, an average.
Show my book, the How to Develop a Nation to Dignity of Labor.
Yes. So an average Nigerian believes in superstition more than in principle. Yes, an average Nigerian would believe that because this was passed down, that is why I would agree to it. So we must remove superstition. That is major. Then the second one that we must remove is talking about
intolerance.
Intolerance is
number 2.
Intolerance is second. Yeah, intolerance, because our inability to actually receive each other and accept each other. Because the whole idea of this division is that we want schism, and wherever there is division, there is no progress. It should, as easy as it might sound, the allegory of a broom. If you take a broom, just one stick of a broom, there's so much, just little you can do with a stick of a broom. But if you get the whole broom together, you can't easily break them, and then it can produce even a greater effort of work. So we must eradicate intolerance. So superstition, number one, intolerance, number two. Then number three is the miracle craze mindset and idea that we have in Nigeria, wanting something out of nothing, wanting something to just happen in Nigeria without putting in the work that is needed. So the miracle craze mentality that we have in Nigeria must be kicked out for any progress to happen. And then the fourth one is the issue of subserviency. That is bringing in the dignity of every human being. Because in Nigeria, we talked about the plague of silence, and most times our focus was really about even with religion. But the plague of silence cuts across every area, not just even when it comes to religion, but this subservience mindset that we have has made people voiceless. You know, I said that it's better to be dead than to be alive and have a voice and not be able to use that voice. It's better that you're even dead. Let's just even know that you are dead, that you're not alive, than for you to be living and then you have a voice and then you can't use your voice to speak against what shouldn't be and to speak the truth. And that is what subserviency has brought. So it has made some people, it has put some people in a pedestal where their actions cannot be scrutinized, where whatever they say cannot be analyzed. And so because this guy is the Jagaban, or is the number one person there, and he says this is how it should be, we can't even say, let's bring this decision he's making under scrutiny. Let's analyze it. So, subserviency has really crippled our nation. And if we, like you rightly said, if we can actually address these four issues, superstition, intolerance, miracle craze mentality, and subserviency, that is going to our core. Because one thing I've noticed is that we are so superficial in Nigeria. Nigerians are so sensational and superficial. We just go with what is now. We don't realize that what really matters is the core. Because it is the core of a person that determines everything about the person. Because if you take away everything out from an individual, what remains is what is inside. So we are so concerned about what is outside, and that's the idea between the restructuring. Because restructuring is superficial. You're not going to the main thing.
And the value system.
And the value system, because
the
value system is the main thing. That is the core. That is what makes a person a person. That is what determines the decision of a human being. That is what will make you go to. You know, I was telling somebody recently that I've been in Ukraine for close to 7 years. I can't remember the last time I had a liter and I put it on the floor.
Even though in Nigeria you are doing it.
In Nigeria, if you just go to Nigeria, anytime you eat gala.
And maybe if you divide the country, you will stop doing it.
No! That's a value system.
You get your own territory.
You will be doing it there.
That's a
All
value
I
system.
wanted to do is to have my own territory and not be doing it. And again, okay.
Yeah, but because there's a value system that has been instilled without even them saying they are teaching me. But I've gotten the value system that, listen, if we're going to have a clean environment, if you eat anything, if you have a pocket, your pocket can be a temporary safe until you see the next bin. But that's not the value system we have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you finish eating something, you throw it in the floor.
Because that's what everybody is
That's
doing.
what everybody does. And then we are complaining that the Nigeria is, in this case, it even burns me when I see Nigerians complain about corruption in the government.
Why they themselves?
Where if you come to their house, their own house, so you see corruption there.
The civil service is civil.
Their family.
In their family, you see it.
In Nigeria, the civil service is more corrupt than
government.
I can tell you that boldly. Boldly. I went to Nigeria to try to claim.
And this is all region.
everywhere.
But what about restructure?
Restructure won't change it.
Doesn't change the core. It's just
Subserviency that I know that you mentioned, the fourth one. If subserviency is tackled, justice in Nigeria
would reign. There will be justice.
because
That
that is why a thief
Come on.
will be sentenced to death by hanging, and another one who is stealing even more will get 100 sands to defend him in court, and they will delay the process and still
100 what?
Sands.
Senior advocate.
These are not just any lawyers. So justice now belongs to the rich, and the armor of justice lands on the poor. Because of the subserviency. Why? Because the same people who will do jungle justice to somebody who stole maybe a phone, or even sometimes it is food that they were so hungry. They were so hungry that they had to steal food. They will do jungle justice on that one and say Tuale Baba
for the person
to the one who is stealing the Commonwealth.
And they will come and vote for him.
Yes.
They will vote for him.
Yes.
In fact, even when EFCC comes to arrest that guy,
They will
they will
say
fight.
it's our own thief.
They will fight.
It's our own thief.
Leave this one, it's our thief. Is it the only one that is stealing? They don't say that when somebody stole Gario,
Yeah.
but that one that stole billions,
He's taking care of us.
it's our thief. Leave him.
That is what I expected all these people who gathered in the battle talking about restructure. That is what I expected them to address and to talk about.
Yeah.
And instead of addressing this, but thank God today, this independence now, this my effort, bringing out my philosophy, bringing out my thoughts. I didn't know it's reaching anybody.
Yes.
It's like it's reaching them. Now you tell me what will happen if this won't reach Nigeria.
How to develop
Dignity of
a nation through the dignity of labor.
Come on.
Somebody was writing here. Someone was writing here,
Jesus.
and I'll read the person's comment. Then I'll use this book to comment. Curtis Anthony Simpson says, to grow any country, you must have enough jobs for every working individual to cover their basic needs and have social security and welfare. This, I'm sorry, it's too peripheral, because no government provide enough jobs. No government. What we need to get jobs is to embrace the dignity of labor, to know that no job, no work is too small.
Yeah.
No work is too demeaning.
Does that my country know what it thinks of labor?
They don't. In Ukraine, Ukraine is even like you call it backyard of Europe. The person sweeping the street sweeps it with all dignity. They smile at you doing it. The person mopping my floor, we gist, we talk, we laugh. When I need something, I say, "Oh, Mama, I need so." They do it with all joy. The person they call them with respect, because in Ukraine to call people with respect is to call them with their name and surname. They don't just call them like Anu, come here. The way they want to call it is Anu Ojo, because they don't use chief, all of those things yet. But the respect is to call them with their name. So it will be Anu Ojo.
The equivalent in Nigeria is house helps. Drivers.
They are not respected.
Gardeners.
So they do not even understand that what they are doing, there is dignity in it. So none of them is, and
that's just one value system.
One value system.
So that one value system, if everybody will work like that.
Just that one. This number two. The idea of no dignity in labor is inhibiting our innovative ideas. Okay, for example, my brother wrote me one day, said, I want to start getting trash cans to recycle. And he gave me a very brilliant template. But you know what? If not because of what is known now, I will tell you that if me in Nigeria, I see someone just going around picking trash cans, I will look down on him.
You think he's mad himself?
I will look down on him. And yes, thank God that I've been able to come out of this. But that's still the same value system here. People cannot produce. Someone in HMT, someone was talking about how probably they went with you, your team guys from Ukraine, and they were seeing trash on the ground. They are saying, look at money, look at money. Anybody who is trying to convert trash to money in Nigeria sees it as nonsense. So everybody is looking for white collar job. That's what they think that's where the dignity of labor is. Whereas in fact,
That's
the
why all the
greatness,
parents want their children to become
yes,
doctors.
and whereas in fact, the greatness of the American economy does not lie on white collar. It is resting on the hinges of blue collar.
Red.
Every industrial revolution that has taken place has never rested on white collar. That was why the American Revolution came through coal. Coal miners were not white collar jobs.
Cotton.
Cotton was not white collar job.
And just to imagine how
Mention the name of the book again.
how to become a developed nation through the dignity of living.
Do you know that people in my country don't know that this book exists? And they don't know that I've written this one. There's a Nigerian who wrote it. This book here is a Nigerian who wrote it. And this book alone will put to rest all agitation about regional, not regional, restructuring.
Because people are jobless now, they don't have anything doing. They don't
He
have
was
anything.
talking.
Yeah, you know, talking about how America became the American industrial revolution that was birthed out of focusing on not the white collar jobs, but focusing on things like as trivial as coal and as trivial as cotton, and to see how if an average child tells his mother or his father that, okay, Dad, I want to be a farmer. That doesn't sound like a child that has a prospective future.
Where?
In Nigeria.
In Nigeria.
Okay.
Because in Nigeria, if someone says, I want to be a farmer, I want to go into agriculture, but they're not really getting it because they're like,
Because there is no
because there's no dignity of labor. Because what everyone believes to be the main deal, like, okay, you want to be a great person in the future, you have to work in an office, be in an air-conditioned room, and that's it.
Oil industry.
And our oil industry. And that is the reason, sir, that the level of unemployment in Nigeria would never reduce
Until
there's this emphasis.
And I'm looking at her because you were mentioning those times that it was not the location. Because there was a saying even in Yoruba that Igbeluwowa, that means money is in the forest. They understood this.
The farm.
In the farm, that's where their money is.
But it's no more there now.
The saying is no longer there. Because it has left our value system. It means we were doing well because we had a value system of dignity of labor.
Yeah.
Farmers were respected, even with their hoes and cutlass. But we have hidden under the illusion of education. Education that has made us educated illiterates who really do not know how to get things done. The dignity of labor, until this is a part of our national fabric, we will continue to linger, to follow in unemployment. Because nobody creates employment more than an individual.
True.
Each individual.
Nobody does. I sat here, sir, just in Ukraine. And I've been able to create employment for more than 30 people.
No, but you are not saying you are a student. As a student.
As a student.
Being a student.
In Nigeria, just that Nigeria, I've created employment for more than 10. Now, I'm not even within that space. So it means if there was dignity of labor, and someone can understand that I can be in the farm and get more people to work.
My people are wasting their time talking about restructuring.
But this is the most important thing. Because if someone has something to do and he understands that there's dignity there, he will even hardly have time for trivial things as geography. Geography that you will die and live. That people are living on an ephemeral earth with a permanent mentality.
That there is a statistic, 0.2 something. Can you show it, please? That's why I want to, at this point, I would like to introduce another Nigerian. Oh, I hope he's watching us. I hope he's watching us, but let's try to get him. You know, another Nigerian that did a research that in every country, for every country to be sustainable, at least 20% has to be productive. 2080, you know, 80 to 12, maybe at least the leading, but in Nigeria, it's not 20%, it's 0.2% of people who are really functioning. We already know that 50% of the people are not even educated. 50 something.
60%.
Okay, so that means half of the country is just redundant, off. Out of the ones who are working, we are talking about literate, just to read and write. So what about the ones who are really educated? Maybe 20% in the whole country. So out of that 20%, only 0.2% are really creative, productive. So this is Aaron Igbe. He has many solutions for Nigeria. And one of the solutions is that he even has a very simple solution of how to produce 10 million jobs for Nigeria, in Nigeria, through value system and through, is it there now? Let us get him.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Sunday. How are you doing?
Dr. Aaron, well, we are here discussing Nigeria.
Yeah, that's great. I've been watching.
Good. That is very good. Well, you are one of the Nigerians that is really making my heart happy a little bit, because my heart is constantly broken when I'm talking about Nigeria and I see what is happening there and what our leaders are doing. But you are somebody that I'm seeing bringing solution. You brought the solution about electricity, how Nigeria can solve the electricity problem. Nobody heard you. You brought a solution about how through states, how every state could use agriculture to resolve the problem of the country. Nobody heard you. Now you are telling me that you can produce in the next 10 years, 10,000, the next 10 years, maybe 10,000 millionaires and also 10 million employed people. Tell me, what are your solutions for Nigeria? Who are you? What are your solutions for Nigeria? What are the things you have brought to the table? And, because right now, as we are here, they said they are celebrating Nigeria independence. I didn't know people are watching me, but they said some of the things that I'm talking about, that they are even discussing it in the Nigerian Independence Party right now. So maybe somebody will hear us today, who knows?
Yes, that's great. Thank you very much for inviting me. I hope my voice is coming out clear over there.
Yes, very clear, very clear.
Okay, so I am Aaron Igbe. I'm a computer scientist, and after working in Europe and America for almost 30 years, I actually retired, and I said, okay, let me enjoy my shop. And then when I went to Nigeria, because I got a lot of letters that how bad they were suffering, the situation there. So I actually went there to take a look, and I said, okay, let me see what I can contribute towards the society. And I didn't want to do anything in IT, because that has been all my life, and I was tired of coding and programming and and working with people in IT. So I wanted to do something different. So when I came in there, and then as we were driving on a piece of road, and I saw a very huge piece of land. In fact, later I discovered that land was 5,000 hectares of land. And I told the driver to stop, and we went inside, and I said, wow, what do they do here? And they said, no, we don't do anything here. It is abandoned farmland. So I said to them, okay, let's go and start farming here, because agriculture is a big, a unification, thing to use to unify people and also create a lot of wealth. So, and they thought I was joking. And immediately, because I've studied agriculture, because I study a lot of things, and I went into the process, and I imported tractors, I imported seed, I imported, things like that. And in 3 months, we were able to, process 200 hectares of land, planted it, and I often tell them, say, look, I'll be here for 3 months, and in that 3 months, I'm going to eat my harvest from this farm. They thought I was joking. So we did it, and in 3 months, we harvested the first watermelon, the first maize and food. And not only that, we harvested, because it was in Edo State, we were actually able to bring down the price of food for the crops I was producing by half.
Wow.
By half. So I told them, look, the cost of food in every city can be brought down by half.
Wow.
Because the problem in Nigeria is not that, the problem is just that food is not being produced next to the people. They produce food in Kano and export it to Lagos. Yeah. So guess what? Before the truck gets to Lagos, they have spent over 500,000 naira to transport it to Lagos. So I gave an example. I said, look, I will produce this food in Benin City, and we will supply it to the market in Benin City, and I will half the price. And I did it. I did it with crop. I did it with chicken. I did it with goats. So, and even at half the price, you were still making a lot of profit. So that is how I started in agriculture in Nigeria, and it is a no-brainer. The possibilities to make money, to employ people, to create wealth in Nigeria is just huge. It is mind-boggling. So, Pastor, that has actually been the situation, and so with time, I have been able to, revolutionize my ideas, and I said, look, let's go massive on this and create wealth. So what I have done is that when I came back to America, and then I sat down, I talked, I went to visit a lot of American farmers, and we came out with these brilliant plans. And I'm going to tell you this. I discovered that there's one trick they use in Europe. A lot of people don't realize in Nigeria. I'll give you an example of a pineapple. Sorry, coconut. The Europeans love coconut. There is not enough coconut to supply Europe for coconut oil, for coconut cream, for coconut, anything to do with coconut. Coconut can be used for 100 different types of crops, of stuff. So when I was talking with the European Union, and I said, but what is your limit on the importation of coconut? They said that the coconut import to Europe, what they get today is only 20% of the required amount they need from the whole world. So then I say, okay, if we should produce coconut in Nigeria, how much can you guys take? That means the European Union alone. You know what they told me? They told me that we can produce about 50,000 hectares worth of coconut, and we will not be able to satisfy the need of the European Union.
That is like planting trees all over the states, all states of Nigeria.
Yeah, that is planting trees all over this place. So I then decided to say, okay, look, that means that let's go and plant trees. I worked out my calculation. I discovered that we can plant 1 billion trees. 1 billion trees in Nigeria. And these 1 billion trees, it will bring over $50 billion to the Nigerian economy yearly, only for the fruit crops.
Yearly?
Yearly. $50 billion. That is more than the amount we get today in oil. Okay? Then, I discovered that with this $50 billion worth of production, because you are producing coconut, you are producing avocado pear, a cashew, walnuts,
mango,
all these,
mango.
So all these things,
cashew.
by the time you start exploiting them, there are companies like Arrow, Nestle, all these big companies. They will come and set up factories next to your huge farm to process these things. You don't have to worry about the process. These companies are ready to come to Nigeria to process this thing because most of these guys like Nestle, they're already in Nigeria. But the problem is, they don't have raw materials to produce anything. So therefore, they stay away from that line of production. So we've worked out all these plans. And you know what is great about all this? The United Nations has funds, for environmental funds, to plant trees. Because of the Kyoto Accord, people who understand the process. There are people who produce a lot of CO2, like oil companies, like airplanes, and all these big companies. So when you produce CO2, they give you a CO2 tax. You have to pay that, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are people who remove CO2 from the atmosphere, like planting trees. So what they do is that they give you some of the money that they tax the CO2 producer, they call them polluters. They give you that money because you are planting trees. And all these things work out by the United Nations. Only Nigeria, as a country, is not making use of it. We don't plant trees and we don't do anything, so we are not, it's like we are not a part of this world. Meanwhile, people in India, the Indian government is planting trees. In Pakistan, they are planting trees until they drop because they are getting some of this money to plant trees. So this process of planting trees alone is even the people to plant trees alone. If you want to plant 1 billion trees, you need at least 1 million people just to be planting trees all over the country. But then, what do you think about people who are producing the nurseries to plant these trees? People who are producing the manures, people who are producing the, maintaining the trees, people who are training the people who are planting these crops.
How many employment are we talking about?
We are talking about between 7 to 11 million people employed. In a matter of 3 years old, it is not the long-term effect of 10 years. We're not even talking about that. We are talking about 3 to 4 years. So, and that is number one major plan. If Nigeria as a government decide today, through the Ministry of Environment, because this thing covers, I think, 3 or 4 ministries. You have Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of
Works,
industry or whatever they call them. So you have all these ministries that when they come together, it affects every of their departments, because the Ministry of Environment in Nigeria is there to improve the environment of Nigeria. As you know, the northern Nigeria is very dry because we don't have trees anymore in the northern part of the country. People have destroyed all the trees. So therefore, we have this dry season that is so intense now in the north. And guess what? The skirmishes between the Fulani herdsmen and the farmers comes because the green pasture in the north is dwindling very fast.
Yes. So
therefore,
planting trees will take care of all of that.
Exactly. So when you plant a lot of trees, you are able to hold the desert back. In fact, you will pull the desert back. That's what they did in Israel. That means that you will resolve a lot of skirmishes between the Fulani herdsmen and the farmers. You will resolve the climate change problems that is rampaging in Nigeria right now from the north. You will create a lot of jobs for youth. You will trigger industry. The way you trigger industry is amazing. And finally, you're going to reduce the temperature in major cities in Nigeria by 2 degrees. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling. And what does that all cost? $1.6 billion. And yet, nobody's doing it. Imagine somebody tell you, you invest $1.6 billion, in 3 years, you're going to be getting $50 billion a year. It's like printing your own money. Yeah. So,
I will use this opportunity to tell you that I'm right now on a worldwide platform, Facebook, worldwide Facebook. And, I know what I'm doing, which means people are hearing me all over the world. By the grace of God, if by the time I finish my battle here in Ukraine, and all this, by the time I'm able to travel out of Ukraine and I finish my lawsuits altogether and I move to Nigeria, if Nigerian government will not pay attention to this challenge, I tell you, my brother, that I and you provide the technology and the resources, but I will find that money for you by the grace of God. I'm telling you that, knowing that the whole world is listening to me. I will find, if it is $2 billion we will need to do it, we will find the $2 billion. And I know how to find that money. That money is not a problem for me. But, why should somebody be coming with a solution like this that will give us more money than oil? and nobody's paying attention. But we will get to a place, my brother, where we will not need the government to change that country. We will change that country, either the government is participating or not participating. Either the government wants it or not. I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, that is great. That is something I wanted to say, because we have really tried to get the government involved in this. We really tried, but nobody is listening. So I've said, okay, look, why should we be bothering people who don't listen? If we don't do something, the country will just get stuck like that forever. And people like us don't want that Africa is too important for us that we must make a change. Every one of us must be enlightened and get to work. It is not a big deal to do. It is not a big deal to do. Let me give you an example. There is, Professor Iwu is one of the most brilliant, pharmaceutical experts in the world. This guy is in Nigeria. Dr. Iwu has 6 medical patents on herbal medicine. And he said that the herbs in Nigeria, the plant herbs in Nigeria, can provide $50 billion worth of revenue to Nigeria yearly.
Wow.
I thought this man was joking. I went to buy his book of medicinal herbs. It's a very big book. By the time I read it, I realized that, wow, this thing is huge. I went into it myself and I discovered that, look, a lot of the things, I don't know if everybody is aware of that, but for example, we have this plant they call dongoyaro in Nigeria.
Yes.
Okay? In the world, it's called neem tree. Do you know that dongoyaro cures over 200 different types of sickness? And dongoyaro is one of the most potent, fungicide for agriculture in the whole world. But in Nigeria, we don't have a single plantation of dongoyaro. If we only plant dongoyaro tree, like say we have a million dongoyaro trees in Nigeria, Nigeria will be making over $5 billion a year
just from that tree.
Dongoyaro tree. And my brother, the best part of it is that a dongoyaro tree lasts for 200 years. Once you plant it, the next 200 years, don't do anything. So how can we have all these resources and we don't do anything with it? It's just, it is silly. It is silly. So I just cannot sit down anymore and start waiting for a government or this and that, because the people in government, they may not see what we see, because they're looking at things from a different perspective. In my opinion, they're looking at things as the fact that of want. Oh, we don't have enough money to do this. We don't have enough to do this. We don't have enough experts to do this. Whereas, you have to look at things like the issue. Let's mobilize our people and let's go and do it. We have a lot of brilliant Nigerians. If somebody, let me put it a different way. We are planning, we are in the process of going to Nigeria to mobilize people through Agric Power. This organization I formed, Agric Power, to say, okay, look, when the government don't want to participate, let's do it. Bring a lot of people together, 1,000 per, state, and let's go to work through Agric Power. Because I cannot understand why. I've demonstrated it, how easy it is to provide jobs to people through agriculture. It's not difficult. If you say to me, come and provide 1 million jobs tomorrow, I'll still do it. So why is it that people are not prepared to do these things? So if the government is not prepared to do it, then that's what I call the citizen action, let the citizen go to work. And then we see the government as partners.
Doctor, what I've just decided to do right now is that my evening program, which is going to come up in the next 30 minutes, because today is Nigeria's independence, I want to call you back and I want you to come together with maybe 5, 10 or 7 point, ideas that, you see for Nigeria. And this whole evening, we and the boys are going to be here talking, and you. So we are going to all dedicate this whole day to discussing Nigeria. I'm going to stop now, but we'll come back in 30 minutes so that when our program starts, we would continue this discussion. But I want you to get together all your thoughts, all your proposals, all your ideas, and all the things you have attempted to do and your story. So because more people will be coming in the evening.
Yeah.
In 30 minutes time.
Okay, that's great. I like that.
And we'll continue the conversation. Yeah. We hear you very well. The quality is very good.
Okay, that's great. I like that.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll get you back in 30 minutes.
Right. All right, you're welcome.
Blessings.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, hello everybody. We are still here, and we started talking about the book, but we didn't even get to that. You know, there are other things that I wanted us to talk about the structure. That's the only thing we were able to mention. I've not even been able to mention my own Nigerian transformation project ideas, but thank God we were able to get Arabs. What do you anyway, I will ask you about what you think about his suggestion when we come back. So, but let's Mayowa, read a few comments and read a conclusion. Then we'll come. You have to stay for the next program.
Hello everyone. Gosh, I can't believe what I've been hearing today. So much mixed feelings. Being proud of Nigeria's resources, the people, and also a little bit ashamed with what is going on in our value systems and what we are not doing right. But let me read your comments. That's more important. Chidinma says, they are the blind who wants to lead those who can see. I suppose this is about Nigerian leaders. Abraham says, Nigeria must be freed. Isaac says, God bless you, DSA. Then we have Joe said, great ideas, DSA. Adiola says, excellent decision. Ali said, God bless you richly. Abrams, yes, the 7-point agenda. Rita said, good evening to happy independence to everyone. Yes, Hoyle has really removed their brain. I think this is about the Nigerian resources. Austin says, our leaders are blind leaders. Comfort says, hello to everyone. Thank you, Comfort. Chindi again says, why are they not here? These well-educated people. Okay, good point.
Why are they not there?
Yeah. Here. Yeah, okay, hearing. Okay, hearing. Sorry, H-E-R. Yes. Abraham said, dogoyaro trees can grow and service in the desert. Thank you. Hall has removed their brain. I think everyone is saying this. Mary says, God's strength to you, DSA. Obviously, Africa is very rich, but the people mentality is somehow. Thank you very much, Joe. Let's see more comment. Neem tree everywhere in Sokoto State. That's from Alice that is saying that. We have Theophilus saying, blessing to DSA, good strength to you as well. Thank you very much, Theo. And then Oluwatoyin said, okay, saying hello. May the Lord Almighty God grant your needs money to sponsor the vision in Jesus' name. That's from Collins. We have Julie is clapping. Israel is saying, bro, you are talking Nigerians, political leaders are not having all these long-term plans. We, the private individuals, are the only one that can do it. All those government guys are corrupted with instant gratification. Okay, I'm sure that you need to read the book to understand Nigerian the leadership question. That's one of the challenge that it's not just the leaders comes from the populace. Curtis says Africa needs banking equilibrium. And then we have, thank you, Curtis. It is not a rocket science. That's Abraham that is saying that. Oluwabumi says you are a man with values. Genius DSA. Thank you, Oluwabumi. Chidima says they are too ignorant. And then we have Onyinye says that's the problem. They don't listen to any good advice. They will never listen to you. Onyinye, let's be optimistic. Johnny says I'm really interested in the kind of in the kind of project. It is a pity we don't have a government. Thank you, Johnny. True. DSA. Through you, DSA. Wow, Dr. Sunday. Somebody else is saying there. Theophilus is reminding people to share. Please do so. Let's listen to Theo. And then we have Oluwabumi that says they will not listen to this type of messages. Yeah, we'll make them listen. And then we have, no church in Nigeria is thinking like this. All they know is building big auditorium. That's from Abraham. They're saying that, how do I call in Adewale Jones? Probably we'll do that in the next program. Austin says, this man is making sense. Thank you very much. Onyeye is, oh my God. Alice says, this is outstanding. Hear great minds talk. Yes, thank you very much, Alice. Okay, what do we have? That's where manpower comes in. Thank you, Curtis. Okay. That's how global trade works. You could trade billions of coconut for some other commodities. Thank you very much, Curtis. No light, I agree. No good roads, I agree. Okay, what else do you say here? No enough jobs, I agree. No good education, I agree. Abraham, we can change that. Thank you very much for the comments. That's $1 billion business right there. That's from Joe. They're sharing that opinion. Isaac said Nigeria is already in a mess, but will get worse when they all get obsolete. Yes, I think we all mentioned, Dr. Sunday mentioned that earlier. Thank you very much, Isaac. That could create a base to sustain the economy by seniors having money to spend for overheads and services. Curtis said Nigerians should give everyone over 65 years old security payment. Thank you for that. Isaac, no one would like to invite him to speak in the parliament. Okay, thank you, Isaac. I think that's Dr. Sunday is referring to. Collins is saying dignity of labor is what must be stressed to the leaders of Nigeria to know. Even the citizen must be aware of this too. Thank you very much. Chidinma says, Pastor Sunday, my prayer is that you will be invited to speak in the House of Parliament in Nigeria, so it can open the eyes of these politicians, because their value systems are wrong. Thank you, Chidinma. What do we have here? Remember that head knowledge can never be equated to real-time application. Joke is saying that application is by all of us. Yes, Joke, thank you very much. Isaac, we care, sir. That's from Isaac. Joe says Nigerian mentality for progress is just sad. Then we have here, Joke says Nigeria is not as bad as some of these guys as Putin. The spirit of dignity of labor has started growing. You guys need to be on ground to sharpen your next discussion. Thank you very much, Joke. You're right, bro. That's Olubumi that says that. Goldv says, yes, we need a blueprint. Agreeing with Joke. Amarachi says, now people are gradually starting to get the whole agricultural things because people are making millions from it now. Thank you for that. Joe is saying it's because Nigeria has a get rich quick mentality. Godfrey said dignity of labor, clapping. Who else do we have here? America as a light service economy. There should be dignity in every labor. Even the Bible says there's profit in every labor. Okay, guys, we're coming back soon. I'm not able to read everybody because we have to get ready for the next program in 20 minutes. But we will be continuing this. So join us again. We'll invite more people because this is Nigerian independence. And this program all day today will be all about Nigeria. You will enjoy it. As you've seen, a lot of you have enjoyed this and there's so many comments. So we expect you to comment in the next program. And maybe we would open the phone lines for you to call in as well. And that will be in 20 minutes exactly. So we'll see you soon. Take care and bye.